Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Class Breakfast News. The news is live on Class 91.3 FM in Accra, Ho FM 92.5 in the Volta region, Dagbon FM 102.5 in Tamale, Radio 192.1 in the Upper West region, Radio Power 96 in Spain. Around the world, join us on classfmonline.com. Coming up in this bulletin, CAM returns to Serrano after fatal police community clash leave 2 dead. Also, EC Staff Union warned Finance Director recruitment suspended over due process concerns. The Council of State urges Parliament to reconsider dual citizenship bill.
This council advised against the passage of the bill, which meant that they differed from the earlier advice of the Council of State of the 8th Parliament, which had given Parliament the go-ahead to process and pass the bill. Honourable members,
the Ghana Revenue Authority interdicts 4 officers over alleged involvement in food transit consignment diversion.
We have interdicted 4 of our officers who worked on the consignment, and they are undergoing our internal disciplinary process.
We'll hear from the authority who plans to allocate the food consignment seized to the National School Feeding Program.
GRA is allocating the consignment to the National School Feeding Program in support of national cause.
Also coming up in African news, Egypt's World Cup dream ends after late defeat to Argentina. These plus many other stories coming your way shortly. Run.
This is the Class Breakfast News.
I am Elizabeth Aidoo and you're welcome to Class 91.3 FM. Let's settle for the details of the news. Calm has returned to Serrano in the Western North region after a confrontation between police and residents left 2 people dead, 3 others injured, and 8 police officers interdicted. The interdiction announced by the Western North Regional Police Command is to facilitate investigations into the circumstances surrounding Tuesday's shooting incident. According to the police, preliminary investigation indicates that confrontation occurred between the police patrol team and some members of the Serrano community. The Inspector General of Police has directed the Police Professional Standard Bureau to carry out a full investigation into the incident. The police command says they appreciate the cooperation of chiefs, community leaders, and other stakeholders in restoring calm to the community and has assured the public that a thorough investigation is underway. Police says further updates will be provided as investigation progresses. We'll bring you more details on the story subsequently. Now, investigations into the attempted diversion of 18 trucks loaded with food consignment have led to the interdiction of 4 Ghana Revenue Authority officers. The truck carrying 44,055 packages of uncleared items, including cooking oil, tomato paste, spaghetti, were intercepted during an oversight enforcement operation along the Dowenya-Tema Road in February. The Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Kwesi Sapon, says the officers are undergoing the authority's internal disciplinary process.
We will not hesitate to also apply the necessary sanction enforcement laws when any trading business or individuals are found culpable of the laws that we are mandated to comply with. We have interdicted 4 of our officers who worked on the consignment, and they are undergoing our internal disciplinary processes to ensure that all officers who are involved in the processing of the transaction and who are found culpable not to have followed due process will be dealt with in accordance with the internal processes and with law.
He added that the Ministry of Finance has directed the allocation of the confiscated food consignment to the National Food Feeding Program to support food security efforts.
We affirm the confiscation of the consignment, as we announced at the time they were intercepted in February, that based on the findings, the items will be confiscated to the state in view of the grievous nature of their findings. Under the direction of the Ministry of Finance, GRA is allocating the consignment to the National School Feeding Program in support of national cause. We are conducting further investigations into the activities of the agent to ensure that any areas the agent is also found culpable will also be dealt with or sanctioned in accordance with law. We wish to assure the general public, particularly also the trading public, that GRA through the Customs Division will continue to remain alert, and we have also increased our compliance, especially at our border posts, to ensure effective revenue mobilization and prevention of illicit trade.
That's the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Kwesi Sapon. Preliminary investigation into a methamphetamine shipment intercepted in Australia have revealed possible internal collusion involving some government officials, according to the Interior Minister. Speaking before Parliament Committee on Assurance, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak said some officials are being questioned as authority work to determine the extent of the alleged involvement. The minister added that government is reviewing security arrangements at the country's entry and exit point to strengthen border protection and prevent similar incidents.
So in Tema, we have what we call a weapon detection system. It's a hand one that was delivered to us by the German government. But because it's a hand one, using it is more difficult. Because it uses the human discretion a lot.
How long is that?
Our men are on the ground, like this Australian thing that you mentioned in passing.
1 minute.
The Director General will tell
Manimbo for 1
as
minute.
yesterday, we were still interrogating a lot of government officials. You have been Minister for Defense and you know the importance of evidence.
Yeah.
It's not everything that I can put out at this stage because we are still investigating and we are still interrogating people. Because there's a lot that are not adding up. You could see that there's some involvement of some people within the system. And we are working at it to try to reach out to as many people as possible that we think might have played one role or the other. Because even if you put all these gadgets, remember that it is going to be operated by human beings. So if the wrong persons are sitting there, you can bring all the gadgets in, it will still not be safe. So we have changed our modus operandi, the way we operate, the way we place personnel. I'm sure as former defense, you might have even heard sometimes about people complaining about the way the rotation and all those things.
The disclosure that about 1,300 applicants tested positive for HIV during the security service recruitment exercise has sparked concerns over privacy, stigma, and psychological impact. The Interior Minister, still speaking before the Parliament Committee on Assurance, disclosed that figures while explaining that some applicants were unsuccessful, stressing that no individual's identity or medical details were reviewed.
Well, in fact, I remember it's here when we were discussing.
How long is that one?
Let's send them the results. And then I remember,
seconds.
The recent recruitment, we had, I think, about 1,300 or so that were on HIV. And then they said, can you imagine sending somebody a resource that telling the person that you have HIV? I mean, that's not the procedure. The person has to go through some orientation. So one of the things that we did was simply to say that when you get disqualified, you are given a contact to reach out if you are interested in knowing the details.
Thus, the Minister for the Interior, Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka, speaking before Parliament Committee on Assurance. However, associate psychologist at the Department of Sociology, University of Ghana, Dr. Charles Riafia Kenton, says the disclosure could create suspicion among participants despite no name being mentioned.
All right, let me begin by stating that I am not privy to whether
move it
because they didn't pass a recruitment process. Then when you see that person, one of the things that is likely to pop up in your mind is that is he or she part of it.
Psychology.
Part of it means one of those people who have acquired these beliefs. So
how long is that song?
It was 3
minutes.
If they were not informed, and all those who took part in it and should
make sure that they go to health facility to test. And I also take this opportunity to encourage Ghanaians, especially those who can afford.
That's the associate psychologist at the Department of Psychology, University of Ghana, Dr. Charles Wiafi Akenten. Meanwhile, security consultant Richard Kumado is urging authorities to provide counseling and support for affected applicants to protect their well-being.
If you had asked me, I would have said
push it
no.
forward.
You remember recently there was an HIV. Ghana supports HIV victims, and we have commissioned a whole commission in relation to that. I want to believe that their health status will be made known to them, and they will put them on a schedule so that they will benefit from whatever disease is affecting them. Other than that, it may create some level of emotional stress, and I don't know how the Africans are going to handle that.
That's security consultant Richard Kumado. Let's do some other stories because fresh tension has emerged at the Electoral Commission as its staff union calls on Chairperson Jane Mensah to halt the recruitment of a Director of Finance over alleged breaches of due process. In a petition signed by the union's chairman, the staff accused the chairperson of unilaterally initiating the recruitment process without approval of the commission. According to the petition, the Director of Finance position, which has been vacant for about 8 years, was advertised on June 10, 2026, with application closing on June 25. The union questioned the inclusion of a maximum age limit of 55 years, alleging that they may have been designed to favor a specific individual, mentioning the name of Henry George Anson, whom it claims is closely associated with the chairperson. It argued that the appointment of the Director of Finance, a key position responsible for the Commission's financial management, should first be deliberated and approved by the full commissioning of a duly constituted meeting in line with constitutional governance requirements. The petition also accused the chairperson of increasingly centralizing administrative authority, resulting in major policy and administrative decisions being taken without collective deliberation. The staff union further claimed that the commission has not held a formal meeting for nearly 3 years to consider significant policies and administrative matters, warning that the situation undermines collective decision-making and weakens the Constitution's governance. The union is therefore urging the chairperson to suspend the recruitment process until the concerns raised in the petition are addressed. We'll bring in more details on the story. Let's go back to Parliament because Parliament's consideration of the proposed dual citizenship bill has hit a hurdle after the Council of State raised constitutional concerns over the amendment. In a letter to the Speaker, Alban Bagwin, the Council urged Parliament to reconsider the proposed constitutional amendment that seeks to remove restrictions on dual citizen occupying certain public offices. Speaker presented the Council's position to the House yesterday.
See the advisory opinion of the Council of State on the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana Amendment Bill 2025. The bill seeks to amend provisions of the Constitution relating to citizenship-based qualifications from public office. The bill was referred to the Council of State on 30th March 2026 in accordance